just gonna start it from here. We just gonna go in. So, fuck going on, everybody. It's your boy the Undead Immortal 13, and we still grooving. You see what I'm saying? So, today I got a story I want to talk about. It's a true story. You know what I mean about a homie and shit like that. So basically, we just gonna get right into the meat and potatoes, bro. So my homeboy, he get a job. He's a young black man. He's decently built. You see what I'm saying? He ain't skinny and shit like that. He can attract bitches, all that shit. Like, you know how that shit go. So he the type of nigga that look like he should be in the streets, but he got some smarts about himself. So he went and got a job. So the homie is the type of person that you can call him a goody two shoes about a book nigga or whatever, but like my homie just moved from out of state to a whole different state and got a job. You see what I'm saying? So he working this job in this new state, and because he just got out some bullshit, so he not planning on going back to nobody else and starting relationships and getting into no bullshit that you would get into in your neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? But always gonna be a hating ass nigga. So the homie, he get the job. The first DM that's there and everything's going good. He working, he doing his thing. You see what I'm saying? Then after a while, he start having a problem with one nigga over a bitch. One of the bitches at the job start having some interest in the nigga, and then one of the niggas who was already talking to the bitch start hating on the nigga that she was having interest with, right? So word get back to him. You see what I'm saying? Like, long story short, word get back to the homie and shit like that. The homie not hot headed, so he just go to homie like, what's the problem? Like, I'm not even trying to, you know what I mean? I'm not talking to girl. You see what I'm saying, bro? We just working. Because he understands, like, the homie a little bit older than the nigga. So he understands that when it come to these women, a lot of niggas get jealous over women and they insecurities come out and they do rational shit, bro. And the shit just don't be 100. That's when they start doing all the weird shit. That's when niggas start moving like weirdos and shit. And they just start doing just weird ass shit to either get you fired or run you away from the chick, but they don't want to fight though. You see what I'm saying? These be them niggas that's from the suburbs who done been having jobs and shit like that, who expect street niggas to not get jobs and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, street niggas get jobs too, but it's just like pussy ass niggas like you, bruh. Like, you the type of nigga that want to start some shit, and then when the nigga say, oh, I'm gonna beat your ass, you want to run and go tell the manager and shit. Oh, he said he gonna hurt me and blah blah blah, so he can get fired and shit. Like, that's the type of games that niggas play, bruh. And that shit be lame when it comes to this 9 to 5 shit. You see what I'm saying? It ain't bullshit that only go on in the streets. It's bullshit that go on with this 9 to 5 shit too. So we gonna start just explaining them type of games and shit like that, and going down that path of ideology and shit like that, theories and shit like that. We could talk about that. Ain't nobody doing that. So basically, bro, when it comes to the 9 to 5 niggas, bro, it's just like, will you get a job? All the like, everybody gonna look at you as the new nigga coming in. So what happens to normal people? They already know what you getting paid. They, depending on your skill set and shit like that, they probably gonna you already thinking, oh, everybody know I make the lowest amount of money in the store and blah blah blah. So you start having, so the homie, like, a lot of people will have like self-esteem issues about that shit. Like, oh, I'm the lowest paid person in the job. They don't stay that long. You see what I'm saying? They get a couple checks, they get their first, second check, and everybody else done ran them out the store and shit. Not necessarily even ran them out the store, but it's just like, it's just so much bullshit. Like, why can't I just make my little 300 in peace and stack my little 300? Like, I could put 150 back and save this over here. Now, keep in mind, the homie got his own crib, daughter for his room, fully furnished house and everything. You see what I'm saying? And the chick, one of the bosses at the job invited him over for work and shit like that. After work, oh, you want to come over, blah blah blah. So the homie told me she called him and shit like that, and then he pick up the phone. She like, oh, you want to come over and hang out? And then he hit her with the blah blah. And then immediately, bro, he said immediately she busts out crying. Oh my God, nobody wants to hang out with me. Am I an ugly bitch or something? Like, why does no one want to hang? So he, all right, I'm coming over, blah 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 blah. Like, you know what I mean? He feels like she's going through a mental crisis. So he takes time out of his day. Yeah, the blunt went out and all that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. So he takes time out of his day to go over here, chill with the chick, blah, 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 blah. First night, he don't even smash. So long story short, he starts smashing the chick at his job. He smashed her a couple of times. she trying to play the good girl role. Oh, I'm a good girl. I'm not talking to nobody else. I'm only fucking with you and blah 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 blah. My homie, he's a gentleman, so he don't call her out on it, but he know it's bullshit, bro. You see what I'm saying? He not about to sit here and blah blah blah. I'm not. Why, bro? All I got to do is listen to the conversation. Like he was just like, bro. All I got to do is just listen to the conversation that come out of your mouth, and you're gonna expose your true intentions, and you're gonna spill the beans, bro. So he gets invited to her days. He gets invited to her house for a couple of days and shit like that. He starts hanging out with her and shit like that, and then he starts to notice that she basically has like a dominant personality and shit like that. She likes to sneak this, like she starts throwing sneak disses in there about how niggas that only make $9-10 an hour, knowing that dude only makes 11. But then she's, I makes $20 an hour and blah 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 blah. But then he told me that she basically explained her life to the dude. Like she explains her life to him. Oh, I was homeless and blah blah blah, and I had to do this. I had to sell this and do that and do this. And when I was sleeping in my car, I was on my period and couldn't wipe myself. Which is, don't get me wrong, like niggas can relate to that. You see what I'm saying? Not necessarily sleeping in the car on a period, but if you're empathetic, you can put yourself in the mind state of somebody else, and then you take on the emotions that you think that they would have felt during that incidents or whatever. That's what empathy is. Being able to put yourself in somebody else's mind for a few minutes and feel what they could have possibly felt, and you gain those emotions. People who have that ability are more sensitive to people's feelings, and they tolerate a lot more, and those are the people that, you know what I mean, usually get a lot farther and shit like that. But they become therapists and social workers and shit like that. So girls start sneak dissing him and shit like that. So he ain't even getting mad or nothing like that or rising to it or nothing. So, boom, he ends up smacking. He smacks her, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? He's like, bro, she's a thought, so she's probably going to be, you know what I mean, causing an argument, looking for somebody else in a couple of days, which is exactly what happens. But, and this is where the question of the video comes into play. Why is it that when black women, and I'm not talking about white women because I haven't been put in that situation, and I don't know no one else who's been put in this situation. It's just like between me and my homies, when we talk about it, it's always black women. That's what we date. You see what I'm saying? So why is it that when black women see a young black man get a job who ain't insecure about his job, he will show up, work as hard as he possibly can, and do the right thing? Why do y'all try to run that man out the job? Or why is it always promiscuous activity that follows behind it? Like, y'all want to fuck him and then start trying to blackmail him, like on some, I'm your boss, nigga, you'll get fired and blah blah blah. So my homie tells me she hits him up and she starts playing that, you'll get fired and blah 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 blah, that type of role. So then come to find out, my homie just got 5 certifications, bro. He has a dealing with difficult people certification, a global service. He got global services, global supportive services certificate. He has a financial literacy certificate. He has his motherfucking computer studies certificate. He got all these certificates that basically qualify him to be a manager, and he's in the class to get the actual, like, he got customer service representative. But now he's going back to get his manager certification. You see what I'm saying? Which will come with a lot more certifications. They come in like a package or whatever. But so then he tells me he notices, like, when he starts hanging out with the girl, like, he's telling her, like, man, like, men, we like to treat women like flowers. We see you as delicate and shit like that. And in reality, he's telling the girl, like, bitches are evil. But when a man first meets a woman, he looks at her like a flower, like, oh, she's beautiful, she's delicate, I would never want to hurt her, blah blah blah. Come to find out, she's evil as fuck. You see what I'm saying? But basically what the homie said was, he tells her this, people, they don't know how to treat us right and blah, blah, blah. Whole time she's fucking around with a whole bunch of dudes. She's fucking everybody in the store and shit, and she just didn't want him to find out because she thought he was green and shit. But he already peeped the whole shit, so he puts it together. You see what I'm saying? So then I guess things didn't go the way that she wanted it to go outside of work, and she couldn't blackmail him. So when she tried to tell him that, I'm going to get you fired, he was just like, you know what? We just got a new DM. Why don't I just hit the DM up, and then I'll explain that I'm having and this is where I commend the young black man, because you can't get tricked out your position. Stop letting these women trick you out your position, bro. Be a man of honesty, and you won't have nothing to worry about. So basically what happened was, she wasn't supposed to be fucking around with the stalker. He was just a stalker. She's like the assistant manager of the store. She takes over the store when no one's there. So the dude, he ends up you know what I mean? He ends up hitting up his manager and stuff like that because it gets to the point where she starts threatening him and stuff like that. Oh, I'm going to kill your daughter. I'm going to hurt your ex-wife. And like she just became jealous because dude basically was getting out of a relationship and he did it the right way and he didn't lie to her. There was nothing like there was no excitement for her. You see what I'm saying? There was no drama, no nothing that she could cause that would fuck up his situation. She thought that she had the average guy, and but it turns out he wasn't the average guy. So then when it came down to it, she starts saying all this bullshit, and he just hit her with, well, let's go talk to the manager. And when we talk to the manager, we can just explain the situation to him, and then we'll let him handle the situation how he sees fit. So normally what would happen is they're going to move the manager and let the stalker keep his job. You see what I'm saying? So I guess dude told me that she lives close enough to the job where all she has is Save-A-Lot, and her commute is very small. She doesn't want to change her commute. So she figures she just get him fired. But when it comes down to it, in reality, once he gets these manager certifications, he can come back and reapply and come in as her boss. You see what I'm saying? All type of things that he could do to her. But the question is, like, even with I think her name's Fanny or something like that, the DA down in Atlanta. You see what I'm saying? How come when black women get into positions of power, where they have a little bit of power, there is always an abuse of power, some type of manipulation, or they start fucking somebody in the workplace that's like they try to do this little power couple thing where they're having sex with someone in the workplace. They start boosting checks and stuff like this and stuff. Why do we do this in the black community? Why is it always corruption and bullshit? You see what I'm saying? Why can't we just work honestly? You see what I'm saying? Report the books honestly. Give everybody a fair shot honestly, bro. Like, I had another homie. You see what I'm saying? He grew up with some people in the projects. He leaves for a couple years to the city. He comes back. His homies are like the managers at the store. They're like, oh, we're going to hire you and stuff like that. So they hire him and stuff like that. And then basically his homie smashing the main boss of the store. So then the homie actually like hired all of his cousins and shit like that. He hires all of his cousins, but he really has a grudge against the dude that he ended up hiring who left the city and came back. So then when the dude starts working at the store, you know what I mean? He's working his ass off, outworking everybody. They get mad. They start feeling like they're going to lose their jobs and stuff like this. So they start fucking with his check and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? And then there's like, it's just always a bunch of corruption and bullshit. Why do we do this as a people? You see what I'm saying? Why do we have to hold somebody else down so that we can, like, it's like this, bro. If you have to do harm or try to impede somebody's process of the speed that they are succeeding at, and you, what does that say about you? You see what I'm saying? If you have to stop someone else or try to slow down their pace of what they are making progress in or what they are succeeding in, what does that say about you? You see what I'm saying? Ask yourself that question, bro. A lot of people ain't honest enough to ask themselves those type of questions. They just want to overlook it and say, oh, he did this. Like, they want to make every excuse to justify some shit except for, oh, I was doing the right thing. We don't have any altercations. There's always some bullshit involved. And 9 times out of 10, it's always around some type of intimate relationship or personal relationship where the two people have ended up having intercourse. And now one of them spiteful and vengeful, and they want to do damage to the other person via blackmail or some type of form or shit like that. Why do we have these problems in our community? You see what I'm saying? Why can't young black men get jobs, stack their money, and then try to build and then find one of you black women? You see what I'm saying? I honestly feel like black women enjoy the ideology that we can do whatever we want because men's number one objective is to procreate. And who do they want to procreate with? The women. You see what I'm saying? So that's why they see themselves as the prize. What they don't understand is men are trying to find, like, by the time a man goes out and starts looking for a woman, he's already formulated his plan in his head of what he wants to do in life. And he's trying to find a partner that's going to start at the bottom with him and stick with him and only him until it pays off. Now, I understand a lot of women have that thought process of, oh, what if you can't deliver? What if you can't deliver? You see what I'm saying? But a lot of women impede the process and fuck it up. But at the same time, a lot of women just enjoy the thrill of the chase. And what they're going to do is stall you out until you get to the point where you're past your point of influence and stuff like that, and it's going to be that much harder for you to start your business. You see what I'm saying? That's why you need to lock the women out right now, bro, and focus on your goal, bro, because at the end of the day, it's in their nature, bro. They're going to try to fucking destroy you. You see what I'm saying? They're going to try to fucking destroy you, bro, and you have to be mentally capable and emotionally capable of blocking out all that shit and staying focused. At the end of the day, I cannot quit this job. Or if you do plan on leaving the job, make sure you have another one that's already lined up. You see what I'm saying? Don't get stuck in one place and think that, oh, this is all I have. Like, bro, it's not that hard. Find your resources. You see what I'm saying? Get in touch with a social worker. Social workers are free to look up on the internet. Find you a social worker. Tell her everything that's ever her or him. Tell them everything that's ever happened to you and shit like that, and how you honestly felt about it. And then start the healing process, bro. That is how we heal as a community, and that is how we start to move forward. You see what I'm saying? But hey, it's your boy Immortal 13.
What about party with the white boys on the white boy, he got shot, nigga. Who left you there?